Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Paul. Good morning, Deanna, and everybody who's listening now or in replay. I appreciate the moderators and the service they provide. It's a labor of love for you and for me and for all of us together. So thank you very much. Um, some cool things are happening. I'll tell you about and then talk a little bit about what the blog is about today. Um, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. Eastern, and that's like 9 p.m. in England. You have to figure it out wherever you are. Is the new version of Create Your Best Life with Rex with my new co-host Danny Walsh. Danny is a marketing map mavic, a maven, and I'm very pleased to be working with him on a number of different projects and on the new show. And the new show will include, celebrity authors, speakers, and trainers, inspirational people, as well as celebrity actors and others. And we've started off with a few different conversations. We did our third episode this past Wednesday, and we've got another one coming up next Wednesday. So we invite you to join us. And one of the things to do is you can go to Create Your Best Life with Rex and subscribe to that at YouTube, and then you'll always and hit the notification bell, and you'll always be notified when a new show or a new video is on the website. So that's a resource available to you. It's absolutely free, as you are aware. But you can subscribe to the videos and watch the videos at your leisure or live when they're available. And and I invite you to like and comment and interact and to share them, because when you do that helps us, but that also helps you because you can ask questions live or in replay, and we can, we'll see them and try and answer your questions, or if you have comments and things along that line. And also, you can subscribe to the daily blog free. There's a lot of free resources available to you. In fact, free gift when you go to rexsikes.com, which that link will be up later. There's a free gift there. An audio program on how to deal with the your biggest problems and how to overcome them. If you get my book from Amazon and you go to rexsikes.com/book, I give you a free a $97 online video, training on mastery. So again, a lot of free resources that are available to you as this room is free. So the best thing to do is always make use of what you can. And of course, if you'd like to join us in a program, we've got lots of programs coming up, new stuff coming up. People are getting the Attitude Activator because it works and it helps them, and they're in the NLP programs and other programs. So I always invite you to invest in yourself and take charge, and to do something, because there's a couple of reasons why you want to be in a program, and that is one. If it's online, it's coaching programs like I've got the presentation skills program or the NLP programs, things like that. You're surrounded by people, and I don't like the term like-minded because it's not about being with people who just agree with you. That's not as important as being around people who can support you, inspire you, and invite you to stretch. In a safe way, in a safe environment. In a positive one in which we work together with harmony or in harmony and unity to elevate everyone, to uplift and to edify and to help people move forward together. I've been doing live trainings, for 50 years. And the important thing when you're in a room full of people, whether that's 3 people or 30 people or 300 people, is the attempt to get them to move together at the same time, so that the slowest person in the room and the fastest person in the room actually tend to match up. Uh, so that you can travel together. Because if one's racing ahead and one's lagging way behind, it's not fair to either them or the other people. But to bring them all together in a way that they all move steadily and positively and optimistically toward the goals that they have is most desirable, because it allows everyone to flourish and to do better than they would alone, and to do better than they would, not doing anything. So the blog today, and so I invite you to join us in a program. But the blog today is really the basis. And I write about this, I talk about this, I train about this a lot. It's why I have the attitude activated, why I wrote my book, is that weapons for people. And and this stuff has been around for eons and eons and eons and eons. And the reason for that is because truth remains. It's like gravity's been around, for as long as this planet's been, as long as we've been on the planet. Granted, gravity is consistent, and so these truths remain, and they've been written about and articulated in many different ways over the centuries. And yet, few people, act, by comparison, bother to listen, to observe, to notice, to become aware, and to apply them in their lives. And that's just the way it is. But mindset and attitude is everything. And I quoted the scripture, from Corinthians. It says, "So we don't look at the troubles we can see now." And that's why I point out Edward C. Barnes. He looked at his dream of being a partner with Edison, not at the circumstances of being a janitor for 5 years, working for Edison instead of being a partner. But when the opportunity became available, he jumped at it because he was prepared for it. So there's a preparation process as well as anything else, and that is to put your mind and your heart and your mouth and your behaviors all in alignment and congruent, and not pay attention to what's going on, but pay attention to what it is you want to create, what you want to attract, what you want to become, what you want to do, and what you want to have. Because what you have is a reflection of who you are, as well as what you do. And that's why we have the statements, the truisms of actions speak louder than words. So you're known by the actions that you take or make. Promises are a dime a dozen. Anyone can say anything, but to actually follow through and deliver on those is what makes a good reputation. Get known for delivering value, get known for keeping your word. If you say, I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock, be there at 10 o'clock. If something comes up, let the people know in advance of 10 o'clock so that they too can make adjustments. Don't let them, don't be a person of your word. So we don't pay attention to the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on the things that cannot be seen. It's a within to without. The Wright brothers could only imagine flying until they flew. And until they flew, and then even thereafter, but until they flew, they were experimenting and working and trying to develop things, and constantly failing and making adjustments and trying something different, and were ridiculed and disparaged by people, their own family and friends and colleagues and strangers. So you can't pay attention to the troubles we see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on the things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone. Everything passes. Troubles pass. Things change. The Wright brothers flew. Barnes became Edison's partner. The little girl in Think and Grow Rich who said, "My mama needs 50 cents," to the point where she was going to be, beaten, potentially beaten by R.U. Darby's uncle, by the way, who is the person who is the features prominently in the story Three for Gold. But the little girl said, "My mama needs 50 cents." And she kept her focus on what her need was, in spite of the fact that the man was apparently about ready to beat her. And because she was so filled with conviction and commitment and didn't waver and didn't buckle and wasn't afraid, he did. And so he backed down and he gave her the 50 cents. Don't look at the circumstances. And what most people do is they look at the circumstances, not realizing that they are going to pass. What we worry about usually never happens. And if it does, it's usually never as bad as we anticipate it to be. When we were children, we anticipated being punished. It was far, in many ways, worse than the punishment that we ever got. And it's not that things can't surprise, that there can't be an exception to that. But the point is that we almost consistently live from habits that necessarily serve us well. They do serve us, but not all the time. And so you have to know when they do and when they don't. And if you worry and you're fearful and you're afraid, and you stop yourself or you're prevented because of the circumstances around you, or if your focus is consumed by the problems, by the hardship, by the obstacles, and you allow that to prevent you to do the things that you want to do. Like if the Wright brothers said, well, screw this, we're never going to fly. Maybe somebody else obviously would have come along and done it, but they wouldn't have. They would have given up. They would have thrown in the towel, but they didn't. And you and I mustn't either. If we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish, this is why Hill says you have to be clear about what you want. It has to become a white hot obsession. Then you have to develop the certainty that you're going to do it and the commitment that you will do it and follow through on that and persist until it happens. Burn the bridges, burn the boats, that kind of thing until it happens. But it says because the things we cannot see will last forever. What is enduring is your attitude. What is enduring your spirit, your willingness to to be steady in your ability to transform yourself, because when you transform yourself, whether the circumstances change or don't, and they always do ultimately, but whether the circumstances change or do not, you change. Viktor Frankl knew this, and Gandhi said, you can imprison me, you can take away everything I have, and you throw me in the jail, but you can't take away my mind and my heart set. And so, for those people who are incarcerated wrongly, what a horrible situation to be in, whether it's the Holocaust, whether it's false imprisonment by being convicted of something you actually didn't do. Think about that for a second. You could spend an entire lifetime in jail, angry and upset and horrible, and the circumstances would be dire. Some people, sadly, they kill themselves, before, because they can't see a way out of it. But those people who are successful in those horrible circumstances are the ones who transform their own being, their own attitude, so that they don't let the circumstances around them prevent them from living as fully as they possibly can. And that's what man's search for meaning is all about. Is even in the worst of circumstances, you can find meaning in something to go beyond the circumstances, which means you're then able to navigate the circumstances far more successfully and less stressfully, and maybe even more happily than you would otherwise. So we don't look at the troubles, but that's what most of us do. That's what 99% of us do, is we look at the troubles. And here's the thing that people don't even understand it or realize it. If you say, well, Rex, that's easy for you to say, but you don't know how hard it is. Right there, that moment, the very words that you just said, you don't know how hard it is, or that's easier said than done, or yes, but it's difficult. Those are the circumstances that you're looking at. The attention is on, it's going to be hard, it's difficult, you don't understand, I can't do it. Instead of going, wow, how could I begin to think differently about this? What might I discover that allows me to feel free and feel and find how easy this can be, or how delightful it might be? If the first thing you think about if I say, hey, come join me in a program, and you say, I can't do it, it's too hard, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I'd like to, but you're not looking at what you could be doing. You're looking at the things to prevent you. You're looking at the circumstances. So this is why we don't look at the circumstances. We look at that which is within, because the change is from within to without. When your attitude is right, everything else falls into place. And if it doesn't, and the circumstances don't change, you've changed, which makes everything different. If all you do is say, well, if I change myself and the circumstances don't change, I've wasted my time, then there's the saying, like, can't save a fool from oneself. Because if you've changed, everything changes. Even if the circumstances don't change, this is the thing that people don't understand. We look out from our point of view. We look out from our beliefs and from our values and from our habits and from our experiences. It's a point of view. It's the eyes looking out at the world. And when you change, what you see changes. What you what you experience changes. What you feel changes. What's important to you changes. What's not important to you changes. Everything changes because you have changed. And if that's not worth it to you, I don't know what to tell you, because that's what 99% of the population does do, is that they don't take charge of themselves. This is why Hill and Buddha and from people ever since both Say the one thing you can change, the one thing you're in charge of is yourself. And most people today don't even think that's the case. Now, you don't understand. I've been a victim of this thing that happened to me when I was 7 or 10 or 12 or 15, or I failed and I haven't ever done that, so I don't know how. They've got every reason and every excuse and every, you know, correct for what they are. But here's the thing: you change your mindset, you change your attitude, you change your heart space, you change what you're saying and how you're acting. Everything begins to change. That's what you can control. Forget about trying to stop the volcanoes or prevent the winds from blowing or the sun from shining and all the troubles that could come. And understand that you can take control of yourself so that as you move through the world, whatever the world offers you, you're more resilient, you're more flexible, you're more resourceful. You have the ability to see opportunities and possibilities you would never otherwise see. That's why attitude is so important. And if you don't have a powerful optimistic attitude, and by the way, attitude does not mean pumped up. It does not mean just standing on the top of the steps like Rocky going, "Oh, I just did everything." It does not just attitude is a lot of different things. So knowing how to have the right attitude for the right circumstances, the right set of conditions is crucial because it is the doorway, the gateway, the window, the opening that you have to succeed in all of the areas of your life. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now, whatever they may be, whatever you're saying to yourself, whatever is preventing you from moving forward. We don't look at those. It doesn't change it if you do look at them. And what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focused on your problems, you get the feeling of problems. You get the feeling of stress that accompanies it. If you're worried or fearful, you're not going to feel less worried and less fearful if you're focused on your problems. So understand that the way to get free is to focus on something else. Rather gaze on the things that cannot be seen, which is what? It's the idea, it's the thought, it's the feeling of success, of living from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, of having a successful conclusion, of the Wright brothers knowing they would fly, of Edwin C. Barnes knowing that he would be Edison's partner, of the little girl going, "My mama needs 50 cents," and staying there until she gets it. And as for Darby and its uncle, when they bought the property and the machinery and they dug for the gold and they 3 feet from gold, why did they stop? Because they looked around, they couldn't find the gold, they didn't see it, circumstance there was none, and without bothering to get any further accurate information or explore it any further, they sold off to the landowner, and he brought in a geologist who said, "Wow, look, they just stopped 3 feet from gold. There's plenty of gold here." Why didn't they get the gold? Because they didn't look at what couldn't be seen, which is they didn't even bother to look underground, with the geologists, but they didn't look at what couldn't be seen. They looked at what was the problem, and the problem was, hey, there doesn't appear to be any gold here. So let's cut our losses and get out of here. We don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze. We fix our gaze. We fix our gaze. We fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things that we see now will soon be gone. But the things we cannot see, the resources, the opportunities, the possibilities, your inner talents and abilities, who you become will remain and last forever. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. From within to without, attitude is everything. Develop the attitude. Develop the attitude. Become unstoppable. Do not let an excuse, a whine, a complaint, a blame, a reason prevent you from not living your fullest or doing what you want to do or being the person that you want to be or having the things that you want to have. You deserve the best. So find the best in you and make the best possible for you. Don't live without, live within. And from that within power, move it to without, share it with other people. connect, create harmony and unity, because we travel better together with the support, with the connection, with the inspiration. If somebody does something better than you, it inspires you to do it better. If you look at them and are jealous or envious, that's no good. That's going right back to, the problems. You look at somebody who's doing something better, you go, "Wow, if that person could do it, I could do that. Now let's find out how." But together, when we connect, that's why I created Idea Family back in the 90s with Idea Seminars, was to have people who would stay together and connect. And we've got people to this day who are still in Idea Family. So the point is that, or still Idea Family members, the point is to, from within to without, make your life different and then help other people make their lives different. We transform the world. If more and more and more and more and more of us made our lives better, it'd be less and less and less, or fewer and fewer and fewer people who are complaining and whining, blaming, and attacking each other. So let's increase our numbers of positive, optimistic, powerful, persuasive people who are inspired and motivated to help be the change that they want to see in the world, and then go be that change. So with that, I pass the mic. Thank you for your attention. And do join Create Your Best Life with Rex. Watch us on Sundays. If you want to get into a program, join us in a program. I encourage you to do that now. If you want the Attitude Activator, it's available. But do something today that makes your life better today and tomorrow, and better for someone else as well. All right, I pass the mic. Thank